You're listening to the Coach Hodge and Banks Show on the Coaching Culture in Athletics Radio Broadcast Network. Sit back and enjoy the show. The views and opinions discussed in this podcast aren't necessarily the opinion of the host or Coach Hodge and Banks Show on the Coaching and Culture Athletics Network.
I apologize, Facebook land, for that little bit of awkward silence. It definitely happens. I want to welcome everybody on our Spreaker channel. This is Creating Culture in Athletics, CCA. This is going to be episode 9. I'm going to bring on my guests here in just a few moments. But today's broadcast is brought to you by the newly released The Mad Culture Present in Athletics. It's out today, folks. If you want a copy, hit me up. I'm going to be selling those for $15. It includes shipping. And then you know what? If you want to sell them to your entire staff, I will throw in $15 for the first buck and $7 after each one of those. Now I'm gonna unmute the microphones right now. And you know what? Today we have the luxury of having the centrally 3 of the baseball seniors, 3 out of the 5, I believe. Waylon Weirather, Sam Hirner, and KJ Skow. And we're excited to have you guys on. We do notice, guys, that you do listen to this podcast maybe a little bit even before practice, right?
Oh, yeah, every day. Especially on Twitter.
Twitter, yes. That's the exciting component. Now, the first question, I guess, is this, guys. You know what? You've had good teams all the way up. When you look at baseball, you look at that culture, you look at that magic. What's it like, guys, to be able to stand on the center stage to one of the greatest summer classics available? And I say that with all sincerity with the Iowa High School Athletic Association baseball tournament.
Cage, you got that one? That was
great. Swanson, we're going to have to dig a little bit deeper here for the conversation. They're speechless.
Apparently so. Take us through the final out of the game, guys, when you guys realize you're going to the state tournament, and what's been that feeling since that point as you prepare to head up there on Monday?
Waylon did it also. Well, it was a ground ball right back up the middle. It was a really easy play. I almost just ran it all the way to first just to piss off that kid, but flipped it, and then Horn picked me up. Everybody rushed the field, and it was party on from there.
Yeah,
good time. It was pretty just crazy. Staying in the moment.
Yeah. It's real exciting though. I show up. I'm standing in left field, and I see Sam. Sam, I feel that you've become kind of a vocal leader, especially in that outfield. You know what I mean, to get the kids ironed up and excited. Now, I look back at that very first inning, guys. We smashed the ball, very hard to a very good Division I pitcher. Okay, I look back at that first inning, and then it's 3 up, 3 down, and then all of a sudden, boom! It's bases loaded. Now, Waylon, are you shaking your head with that head coach not waving in that first run?
I definitely am. Yeah, I took off to back up home plate, and he just didn't go. Okay.
Yeah, I looked at Coach Swanson. I'm like, oh, that's that was a big one. Now, I think that bases loaded, getting out of that jam, Waylon, was the key to that game, obviously, because after that, we started to rip and roar.
Yep, that's true. Just everybody made the plays that needed to happen. Let's see, Jaden, he made the last play. I don't remember who made one before that. It was pop up to Luke. So that's what's got to happen. Just got to execute.
Exactly. Now, so you get out of that. You start rolling along. Your first runs are going to be scored by a freshman, and guys, I'm going to call him the GOAT because he's looked pretty good.
You might have to take that up with his dad.
I mean, what's it like to play with a freshman of that caliber? Because he's pretty good.
He's really good.
Yeah. He's a great natural talent. He's been doing a lot of great things for us this season, and especially now in districts, he's really starting to step it up. And we're getting that from a lot of our younger players as well, like Johnny on the bases and Dylan in the field. He had a couple of big hits that night as well.
One thing that's noticeable about your guys' team is you have kids from freshman, sophomore, junior, senior, all contributing. It's not just a bunch of seniors, even though you guys have a great senior core. You have some great juniors who are stepping up, some sophomores, some freshmen. I mean, you guys have really kind of started this great trend with your class of getting kids to play baseball at such a high level. So, getting to the state tournament the first time in 20 years is such an accomplishment. But what do you guys hope to leave the kids who are going to be back next year, with? What are some of the reminders, some of the tools, some of the tips that you guys are going to have for them?
I don't want them to ever go in thinking they're going to lose. I want them to go back and make a run the state tournament again next year.
The state championship banner to remember us by.
Heck yes. I remember before the game, Waylon, I went up to you and I said good luck, and you said we're going to need it, but I didn't think so, man. I knew that you could get that done. I really did. I had a lot of faith in you guys. Now, KJ, you look at the epitome of a team player, somebody that's worked his tail off, your entire high school career, and then you finally get to start your senior year, and man, you've been tearing it up lately. What's it like to be able to vindicate, who you've become, who you are, and especially with this team philosophy?
I mean, I just think it shows that you keep working hard and you'll get your time eventually. I've made the most of it, and we've all made the most of it this year.
Now, how did you get past all those frustrations? Because you had to have been frustrated all the way up, knowing that eventually, all this hard work's going to pay off. But was there any frustration, or are you just it's just all about the team in that retrospect?
Obviously, there is got to remember the bigger picture and
team first. Absolutely. Now, I do want to pose this question out there because I think it's an important one. Okay, you've had great teams, the past couple years, with baseball. What makes this team so special, so different, guys?
like Tyler always says, I think we're a family. Like we've been together since the winter months, vaccine months, and we've always been together.
Our team chemistry is above a lot of other teams. Like if you look at our dugout, we're way louder. We appreciate each other a lot more than other teams do. We do the dirty work.
Sam, you bring up a great point with you guys having a loud dugout, which I think is great. And it seemed to frustrate some of the Wilton players a little bit. I don't think they liked you guys cheering and hollering the whole time. And, going back to last year, the dugout was actually fairly silent compared to what it is this year. What's amped you guys up just to be loud and rowdy in the dugout and encourage your teammates?
Honestly, just the seniors. It starts with a lot of us. We're just loud and obnoxious in practice, and it carries on to in games and
trickles down.
Yep.
And last year, towards the very end of the year, we started getting really loud, and we had a lot of success just screaming at the other team and making a mess up, basically. So we thought we might as well just keep on keeping on. And it's a lot of fun. Yep.
Now,
Do you guys think that, that talking, that loudness, inspires and builds confidence in the other kids on the field?
When we're in the field, not
Yeah.
Now, what types of motivation did you guys have at the beginning of this season, looking back, of losing a tough one at Iowa City, Regina, that happened to end up getting beat by my old hometown? And I got to give Coach Haji, a shout out. He's back at the state tournament as well. What type of motivation, guys, did you take into this season to make sure that didn't happen again?
Just being that close. It sucked. It happened in basketball too. We were close. When you're that close, it just makes it hurt a lot more. So we just use that motivation to help us work harder in practice so we can get it done this year. But we're still not done yet. We got to keep pushing towards that state title. And I got to get my banners. I'm so emblazoned,
here in this conversation. I'm going to put this up. Okay, you're going to take on a pretty decent Des Moines Christian ball club, and if you guys, you guys check my Twitter and you give me a hard time on there all the time, and I appreciate that. I had you guys pegged as the 4 seed. And you know what? Knocking off the number 1 team in 5 innings, 14-0. I'm going to guess that it would have been nice to hit a 3 seed, but you hit the 4 seed, and you're going up against a Des Moines Christian team that I don't think looks like Wilton, but that's just me. What have you guys done so far as preparing? Because I know, Waylon, you probably already looked at quick stats, and you're trying to diagnose this guy, that guy, or whatever. But what do you think of the 4 seed and this, that, and the other? And here's another one, guys. And I know this gets underneath Hirner and Skow and you, Weirather, and Hop and all you guys. Okay, unranked the entire year, 21-2. I'm going to put that out there.
Yeah, I mean, we've just been used to that. Lost 2 games the whole year. We just and we're still barely in the top half of the seeding here. I mean, we kind of slept on all year. We kind of like the underdog mentality and take that in and use it as motivation.
I think that's great, guys, and I would bet that most, sports writers from Des Moines, Iowa City, Cedar Rapids have you guys probably losing in the first round, which we all know is not going to happen. You guys have played the least amount of games of all the teams in the 2A state tournament. Do you think that helps you guys, keeps you a little bit more fresh than other teams? If you look at, like Northland, they've played 43 games, and you guys have played 23. Do you think you guys are a little fresher than probably some of the other teams that are going to be at the state tournament?
Well, everybody should have a week off, so I'd say we should all be roughly equal, but, I guess we'd like to hope we're a little bit fresher.
Yeah, I think our team's a lot in overall better shape than most teams we've played. So I think conditioning's definitely in our favor.
I'm not going to lie to you. When I saw those Wilton guys come off their bus, they look pretty buff. So sometimes those looks can be deceiving. I'll just throw that out there. Now, looking ahead a little bit. Okay, Jaden Hawk Jr. been throwing the ball off the bump really good the entire season. I've got to give him a shout out. Okay, Waylon, you're going game 1. Okay, you get past game 1. How's Jaden going to be not throwing a ball in the postseason yet?
Oh, he'll be fine. We're not worried. He's been still throwing in practice. Yeah. We got all the confidence.
Okay, and then what about Tyler? I couldn't get Tyler on today. I think he's working before practice. Is his injury, or he's bummed up a little bit? Is he going to be 100%?
Yeah, he's 100%. I don't think the injury was as severe bad as they thought it was. It wasn't as bad as everyone thought it was at first.
Excellent, Coach.
As you guys are preparing to take off, Central East having that huge send-off kind of Sunday, what are some of the memories that you're going to really take away from this season? Not just making the state tournament, but just in general, some of the great things that you guys will look back upon, as soon as you're done, because you guys only have a week left to wear a Central League uniform, roughly. What are some of the things that you guys are going to look back on and really cherish about this season?
Just everybody on the team, our coaches, like the fans, and of course all the teammates.
The support's been great this year. There's been big crowds at lots of games, not every game, but overall it's better than it has been in a lot of years for baseball. We're more excited, and we kept winning, and they kept showing up. So,
Now, Waylon, I think that you broke the record the other night for the picture. I think you might have had 14 people in there. Oh, man, there's too much dead air here, Coach. We're going to have to call this episode Dead Air.
We just might. So, you guys, going forward, we have some really talented kids in, the younger classes, 3rd, 4th, 5th, 7th, 8th grade, all that. What would you guys say to them, as they're, going to watch you? Central League's going to have a huge crowd on Monday, I guarantee it. You're going to have a lot of younger kids that, are good at baseball too, good at multiple sports. what's something that you guys want to make sure those younger kids know, not just to make state baseball, just to be, the best possible athlete, best possible version of themselves going forward?
Well, go ahead. Just keep working, work hard, work ethic. Our team this year, our whole team was showing up in December to work. All year, from December to the start of the season, we were working. We're still working. And that's what it takes to be good. It doesn't. I mean, we got bits and pieces of talent here and there, but the hard work and the team chemistry puts it all together, and natural talent can only take you so far. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely just work ethic and team chemistry. I think that's what built our team all the way up this year.
And, I do have to throw this out there. You can tell that your coaches genuinely love you guys, and that makes a huge difference.
Yeah, it does. They always have a fun time with it, and they always stress that in a big way, that it's not always about winning as much as it is, but also, just to have fun as well. But I don't know. I don't really like having fun while losing. I don't really think that's a thing with baseball at all. So
winning's always fun.
Yeah, we just like to win.
Especially having those 5 coaches, that really helps too, in terms of throwing batting practice and having people to hit ground balls and stuff. We can be productive in all of our practices. We don't have to sit around and watch Luke try to hit one over the fence all the time.
Yeah, and that's always good. Now, Waylon, your dad's been coaching you since you were probably, I don't know, an inch tall. I'll just throw that out there. Looking back, you guys won the AAA World Series up in Wisconsin a few years back, and if you remember, I actually gave a small speech. I remember Jeff Stoltz had me come down and do that speech. It's too bad that his boy went to Van Buren, because it would have been a lot more special, having all you guys on the field at the same time. But looking back at that memory and then fast forwarding to today, I mean, it's got to be amazing to you guys.
Yeah, I don't think it's just a coincidence getting a lot of our success this year. If you look back at that team, that we were winning with, it was a lot of the same kids on that roster that's on that roster this year. So I think that overall translated with our team chemistry, like we were saying. We played together forever.
And we won the same way back then. We scored a lot of runs, and we didn't walk anybody. We just played defense. That's always what's been our key to winning.
Yeah. I think back then we were ranked number 1 in the country, and then that's when we won. What year was that?
2014.
Oh, yeah,
14, 15.
Yeah, it's looking back, all these memories that you have made on the sandbox that I call, it's definitely a beautiful place in the summer. Guys, I want to hear the fun stuff. Okay, tell us some of the funniest things. It's got to be G-rated though, because we are a family network. Okay, but think of the funniest stuff that's taken place over the course of the last 4 years, and let's share it here.
I think one of the funniest things we do this year in our dugout is when you guys definitely heard this probably last game. When a pitcher gets to change it out for another pitcher, after they throw the first pitch, I normally walk out there and say "fresh meat," and then I say it really loud, and the rest of the dugout gets up, and the fans get up, and everyone loves it, except for the opposing team. That normally pisses them off.
I don't know. Their pitchers seem to like it. He was awesome. And last night we had a special one made up. We worked on it on the bus on the way up, or I guess 2 nights ago. And Shane was to go exchange the lineup card with the opposing coach. And then as he was walking back, Sam was supposed to yell, "Who's pitching?" And then Shane, and we did it just as planned. Shane looked around and made sure everybody was watching and goes, "Townsend!" And then we all just started screaming.
Like crazy.
Yeah.
I started off the loud dugout on a good note.
Yeah, everybody got fired up.
Oh yeah, we were fired up from pregame all the way through the game.
Yep. And one thing I've always liked too is the bus rides home. Pretty much everybody rides the bus. We have a good time. It's easy to have a good time when you win. That helps. But we that's where a lot of team chemistry comes from, I think. Just
being loud on the music and
Yeah.
on the bus and listening to music and stuff with your team definitely helps.
we're friends outside of baseball too.
Yeah.
That's great. So let's just ask this question. What would it mean to you guys to win the state tournament this year?
Everything.
Yeah, it would mean everything. Like, I don't think we could accept anything less at this point. Like, this is what we've been chasing all year.
More than all year.
Yeah, we've been chasing this
For life.
Yeah.
For life.
To go out on top as seniors is something quite extraordinary, and it would definitely leave a mark on your guys' memory that you will, never forget. So what is one important key that you guys have to make sure you do well to make sure you take home that state championship on Saturday?
Stay up. Dugouts, guys. Everybody's got to be hyped. Everybody's got to play our game out. The state.
13th play on our benches. This is important as the number one hitter.
And I like when I was feeling you out before the game the other night, Waylon. You look like the nerves have kind of set in the last couple of games, which is okay. Yeah, but you had ice in your veins because you could have easily wilted, walked in a couple runs that first inning. I mean, what's going through your mind? Obviously, you can't say any of the bad things going through your mind there, because I'm sure that there are other words and stuff that could fly out. But how are you able to calm yourself down? What are you thinking? Are you sitting down and saying, "Come on, God, help me out"? Or what is it that allows you to have that ice in your veins?
Just the experience. I've been here 100 times. I mean, I pitched in countless tournaments and big games and all that stuff. So it's the same old thing, just a better team. That's all it is. I definitely did say a prayer after the Townsend hit that line drive, and I felt it brush past my head.
Oh yeah.
I said thank you that I was still alive, able to think. But other than that, what I think about is the stats, all the scouting that we've had. We had good scouting on Wilton. We had a friend go up and watch him a couple games there, and so we knew tendencies, knew inside, outside for several batters. Don't like curveball, that type of stuff. And so I just think that over in my mind and think what would be the best here, and just let it fly.
And I think that is pretty awesome. Let's talk about some of the guys we haven't talked about that are on this team that you have really taken a leadership role, or the excitement's just unreal. Let's talk about some of your teammates.
Well, just go down the lineup, I guess.
That's fine.
Probably our leader.
The ringleader of the circus, as Shane likes to say.
That's it. That's the best way to describe it.
Sam. Jay.
Me. Luke. Luke is.
Yeah, he's been working hard all year.
Oh, yeah.
Just like every year.
Yep.
So
And he will keep having success as long as he stays out of his own head.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jaden. I talked about him a little bit. Jaden stepped up big this year, especially pitching and hitting. He's batting like 430 now.
Yes.
Like that. That's crazy.
And then
Alex, the freshman, stepping up big, batting 6th in our lineup. That's big hits. 7th is Corn. 7th, 4th.
We've he's made a lot of great stops on first.
Great scoops.
A lot of great scoops, and I know playing first base at Central is a tough job.
It's not fun with the sun.
Yeah, the first 3 innings you're looking straight into the sun. So that's why, if you notice, I have hardly ever picked anybody off in the first 3 innings at Central. I don't even throw. I just step off the back of the mound and look at them, because if I throw it over there, you can't see it.
he does a good job of making other teams first baseman like that.
Yeah.
Just kind of they'll go up and pitcher not knowing that they're looking at some throws that they can't see it and miss it, and then we come out in the bottom of the inning and Evan makes every play.
And he's one of our best crap talkers too on bases. He's
yeah.
I know there was some said from Wilton to us, and he shot it right back.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, they were talking crap the whole game. The catcher would say stuff to you while you were batting.
Then
That's just how it is.
let's see. Next would be TJ. Nobody more clutch than TJ.
Nine hitter.
Quick.
Very quick. Yep. Heck of a fielder too. Everybody on the team's a heck of a fielder. Our defense is insane this year.
You know, there's not a lot of outfields out there that can match your speed. I'll just throw that out there. I think there's probably one or two that could even come close, and I think that is definitely huge.
That helps with all the stolen bases and the regression on the bases. Too. That translates over. It's those outfield guys and KJ that have all the stolen bases, and Johnny too.
Yeah, I'm pretty fast.
KJ's pretty smart.
Yeah, definitely not fast.
Let's see. How about
Dylan?
Dylan.
Dylan, sophomore, starting that double play against Wilton. That was clutch.
Oh, that was big.
Yeah,
And
did a great hit down the right field line.
yes, he did. It was 2 RBIs right there too.
And there's a lot of people on the bench that do a lot. They're just loud, like Adam Buck. Adam Buck's so loud on the bench.
Guys,
Cody Sam.
Cody, gotta shout out our other senior Matt.
Yep,
obviously,
definitely.
Matt's out there leading the bench.
And when he gets in there, he does a good job. He's played a solid third base. Done a lot of pitching this year.
He's done. I think he's got the 3rd most innings on the team right now. Yeah, he's been good.
Let's see. We're forgetting anybody here. Gus.
Yeah,
Gus is a new father of a cat, and that was our big thing before the Davis County game. Before the Davis County game finished, actually.
Yeah,
They found some cats in the shed out there where we take batting practice. Kittens, and so those became our mascots now.
oh
I think that's about it. Ian,
man,
bullpen catcher,
Yep.
bringing good luck to the game ball before the game.
Yeah, he's a hard worker too.
Yes.
I mean, he doesn't. You know, all these guys on the bench that come to practice and work their tails off, and they don't play. I mean, that's just out of respect for them.
absolutely.
You know, I have a question for you guys. You brought up the Davis County game. You know, got rained out on Saturday, had to play it on Monday. When they came back and tied the game, were there any nerves in any of you guys?
I mean, not really. It's just a 0-0 game.
Yeah, exactly. It's just going to be a 2-inning 0-0 game.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm ever worried in any situation, just because the way that we came back in baseball in previous years is shocking to actually look at the numbers and stuff. So I always have confidence in any part of our lineup as well. Like the end of our lineup can come through at any point in time. So
Our lineup all the way through is hit.
I'm never worried about us scoring.
Or defense.
Defense as
Defensive-wise.
well. And
And
pitching.
I've put us in some fun situations recently, and
you pitched your way out of them. Got them out. 2 batters.
I'm going to guess. I am going to have your coach Shane Weirather on tomorrow at noon. I'm going to guess though that he doesn't feel the same way, because I think he's probably lost some hair, in a couple games this season.
He's definitely made sure to let us know we've made nervous sometimes.
Yeah, he has to do with it. Like
Yeah, he
in
does.
the batting cage, he likes to pick on us a little bit. So like the other day, he said something to Waylon. He said, "Oh, Waylon's a terrible pitcher." You see how the way he walked the bases loaded in the first inning or whatever. He's just messing with him. He has fun with it. He's a great coach.
Yep. Love him.
a lot more gray hair than when you're starting too.
There's been some.
If you notice during a game when we get in a fun situation like that, you look over the dugout and you see 4 coaches, or I guess 3. Manny doesn't sit in the dugout. You see 3 coaches next to the entrance to the dugout sitting there staring at the field, or Jason's telling the outfielders where to go.
And Shane's in the back of the dugout pacing.
He's just pacing all the time, every time.
Thinking back at any message Shane has given you guys along the way, what would be the the pinnacle, something that really stuck with you guys, especially when you talk about pregame, postgame, whatever?
SOS, same old stuff, I guess.
That's our little moniker before, after, during games. It's all the
Been here
same.
before. Yep. Done it before. Do it again.
Been here before, do it again. And I think that's it's definitely working and it's sticking. KJ, I'm going to give your brother a shout out because he actually came to the show format here, and he's listening. He can see everything that's going on. I think I sent him the wrong link, but that's okay. So I'll give Caden a shout out. He was clutch this year when we look at middle school baseball. So I'll let his head swell just a little bit more there. What's that?
Just what he needs.
Just what he needs. Now, let's talk about these 8 teams that are in the tournament. Obviously, we look at ourselves as probably especially one of the teams to beat, and I see it in your faces, guys. You guys aren't going to be afraid of any of these teams. But looking at those 8 teams, guys, and I know you can't look past Des Moines Christian, but what do you see out there?
Honestly, I don't think I'm scared of any team. I know if we play our game at the highest level we possibly can, we can rumble any team in this tournament. I don't care if it's the number 1, which we already did, or if it's number 2, Northwind. I think that we could rock their best pitcher and put him in the ground too.
I think, now personally, I think a lot, and I share a lot of my insight. I kind of picked us 4th. If you happen to listen at our post-game show the other night, Coach Swanson was giving the state the Dickens in that comment and says, hey, we should be the number 1 seed. I think that, if you're looking in this tournament, Van Meter is a very quality team. I think they're even better than North Lynn. But I'm not sure what you know about those teams, especially in the class of 2A.
I know Northland's got a technical player themselves. Players in Iowa baseball all the time.
And basketball.
Oh yeah.
I don't think I've really looked into any of them other teams other than Des Moines Christian, just because of their ranking. Yeah. So, I think we got snubbed as well. I think we should have been higher up. I also think we could have been ranked if we played more games this season. Yeah. But I mean, it all just didn't work out in our favor. But we'll just have to come with the underdog mentality and.
We would come in with the underdog mentality, even if we did get the number 1 seed.
Yeah.
That's just the way we operate.
That's essentially baseball.
Yeah.
I think that's a great way to go ahead with it. Southeast Iowa does not get the respect it deserves. I mean, you guys played some quality teams this year. You have quality players. Waylon, you're 8-1 with a sub-1 ERA. I mean, you've been throwing the ball real well. We have numerous guys batting over 300, and yet the state sees it and says, they're not playing anyone. I think you guys as the 4 seed, in most people's minds are still an underdog, and I think that's a great mentality to go in with. And I think that you guys have a great shot to go and run the table and win the state tournament this year because you guys are such a well-rounded team. When you're talking about your lineup, you're talking about your pitching, you're deep. You've got great players, you have great chemistry, and those are things that win state tournaments.
I hope so.
Sure. Don't get that hope stuff out of your brain. Anyway, also, I do got to give a shout out. There's another team that's in your North Division, Pekin. Pekin's also qualified for the 1A state tournament. You guys did not get a chance to play that this year, correct? That was rained out?
Yeah, we really wanted to play that.
Sadly.
We really wanted to play.
Yeah. Well, I'm here to tell you, Des Moines, the Des Moines area, the Iowa City area, the Iowa High School Athletic Association, we have 3 southeast, south central schools that are going to be in the playoffs in 3A, 2A, and 1A. And I truly hope that all 3 of those guys end up winning the state tournament. I'll definitely be pulling for all of you. We're about 10 minutes out, guys. Probably about 5. To wrap up here. Let's do some shout outs. Let's do some your perhaps the greatest memory of all time in your career when it comes to baseball.
Mine was definitely in the World Series. Jake Frazee was the scoring run that won the game. He stole third, and then I think I was up to bat.
Well, it was 1-1 in the championship game going into the bottom of the 7th inning. Or the 8th inning. We went extras, actually. Set that up.
Yeah. And then I was full count with 1 out. And then I think I walked it off and Jake scored, and then we won. So that was probably the biggest baseball memory other than winning state this year or getting to state this year. And then once we get to play at state and win, that'll definitely top that.
Yeah, for sure. For me, it'd be the day we played in a Donaldson tournament when we were 12, and we played 7 games in one day, and we lost the first one so we got sent down to the losers bracket, and then 1 out, and that was amazing. That's my best by far. I pitched 14 innings that day.
Whoa.
Doyle pitched 12. that was fun.
Yeah, we had to win the championship game twice because they didn't lose a single game.
Yeah, that was actually the Meepo we beat when we were 12, and then last year.
Last year, that was a pretty good memory too. Jake stealing home to score the go-ahead run in the top of the 7th.
Yeah, won't forget that one soon.
Yeah.
Any shout outs, guys?
I don't think I'm. Not really.
Team, coaches.
Yep.
All I got.
Okay, what time do you want the community out there on Sunday?
Is it 5? I believe it's 5. I think it's 5.
5 o'clock, and they're gonna grill. They're gonna do some auction items, I think, some autographs, stuff like that. So that's gonna be a great event. All right, guys. I appreciate you coming on to CCA, Creating Culture in Athletics, and we appreciate you guys listening and laughing, at our antics and all that sort of stuff. That's what it's all about, man. It's about making those great memories.
We appreciate you having us.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, let's have you on again after we win the state title.
Sounds good.
Any last word, Coach, before I disconnect those guys?
No, just good luck, guys. Keep doing what you're doing. You've made the Central League community incredibly proud by the way you've played. You guys have played so well, and let's bring home a title.
All right, guys. Hey, thanks a lot, guys, for coming in. All right, here we go. All right, Coach Swanson, it's just us here right now. Caden's still watching though, so I suppose I could add him to the stream just to give him a hard time. That was a great interview. These kids are the epitome of what I would call a team, team building culture. And I'm super proud of those guys and their efforts in making this title. And as our superintendent said, Andy said, it was the biggest and the best win in Central Lee school history.
I would agree with that sentiment. This group of kids is special. I mean, they work hard, and the thing is, they told what they've done to make it so special. Riding the bus home with each other, listening to music on that time, just bonding and being friends, not just on the field but off the field, and it shows. I mean, they know where each other's going to be. They have that confidence in each other, and so they are just poised to make a run. I was just looking at the stats of all the other teams they're playing. We have some of the best hitters in the state, some of the best averages, some of the best pitching. There's no reason why the boys can't go in and win a title. I hope they keep that underdog mentality, but, I totally believe them when they say they're not afraid of anyone in the tournament. Most teams are always a little nervous when they get there. I think our boys are going to be just fine, and I think they're going to go out and shock the state of Iowa. I really do.
I am definitely going to be rooting for those guys. It's going to be it's exciting to see where they've come thus far, and yeah, I think the sky's the limit. One game at a time, as Coach Weirather would probably say it. I do want to do our guest announcements and schedule so everyone kind of knows what's coming up here. Today or tonight, we're going to have Coach Robert Harmon on, and he's going to be talking about travel ball, all that sort of stuff. That's going to be exciting, and that's going to be a treat for Coach Swanson because that's kind of one of your mentors, correct?
Oh, it is. This guy was the one who allowed me to become a coach in the first place. I remember applying to be a coach. I was 23 years old at a 4-grade school in Wyoming, and let's be honest, most 23-year-olds aren't going to get, to be the JV coach. And so I remember him walking in our first coaches meeting. It's me and 2 other guys, so 4 of us total, because we had a freshman team, sophomore, JV, and varsity. And I was expecting to be the freshman coach. So he listed off who the freshman coach was, who the sophomore, and I'm standing there thinking, who else is in the room? Because there's no way I'm the JV coach, at such a young age. But he's been a great mentor. I'm excited to have him on tonight. He's done some great things as an assistant in Utah and as an AAU coach. So it'll be a good conversation. That we'll talk a lot about parents, a lot about travel ball, some things I think are important to be discussed.
Yeah, and the picture that I'm seeing in there, of Coach Harmon, you're in the background and you have really poofy hair, man. I'm not gonna lie to you there.
Yeah, my hair used to be a lot longer. I used to just, not even just style it, just fall flat on my face. It was not the prettiest sight in the world. I remember coming to practice after I got a haircut, and everyone's like, "Who are you?" And I just looked in the mirror. I'm like, "I don't even know anymore."
Yeah. Oh man, that's exciting. And then tomorrow, I'm gonna try to get a few moments of Tyler Hopp. It probably will not be a 45-minute episode, but at noon tomorrow, we're gonna have head coach Shane Weirather. Okay, excited to have him on. Sometime tomorrow, I'm also gonna have the head coach of the Centerville Big Reds, Ryan Hodges, who is also a CCA member and founder. Sunday night, we have the head coach of ADM. It's going to be Garrison Carter. He's a former player of mine. I think when I started, I was a freshman coach, but he would have been a senior that year. At 9 p.m., we're going to have Texas football coach Zach Kelly, and we're going to have special co-host with us, Kelly Spann. So that's going to be exciting. Then the following week, August 4th, Panorama head football coach Mike Kosrich, a former player. Don't forget, the Mad Culture President in Athletics is available today. It's going to be our sponsor, folks, for all of our shows. So you're going to hear a little bit about that. You can get your copy through me, specifically for $15, include shipping. And if you want to get the book for your entire staff, I'll go $15 for the first book and $7 for each copy that you order after that. So definitely take advantage of that and that sort of stuff. We are also looking for a couple of sponsors for our podcast, so we can improve our reach, our equipment, that sort of stuff. And a lot of great things coming. There'll probably be more added on shows, as we go here, is kind of what I'm guessing. Huh, Coach?
Yeah, we're doing a lot of great things. We're really trying to build this up, and not for ourselves, but we really want to get out the word to parents, players, coaches, on what we can do to improve not just, my specialty, basketball, or coach's specialty, baseball and football, but all sports. Make it an enjoyable experience for parents, coaches, officials, players, everyone involved. It's a message that needs to be said because we live in a time where there's a mad culture in sports and things need to change.
And the very first thing, and I truly believe in this philosophy, if you want to get rid of a bad culture, then you must basically have the backbone and the will to have the conversation. Start the conversation, and you know what? Don't be all upset, okay? Because we're all in it together. We're all trying to save the culture in athletics today, one soul at a time. And you know what? When you look at it like that, it can truly be done.
Amen to that, Coach.
All right. For everybody within the Creating Culture in Athletics broadcast network, we'll bid you fond farewell. Don't forget, 8 o'clock tonight, we are live. Good night, everybody.
Good night.